Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Hare Krishna. Welcome. Bhagavad-gita, here it is. That's what we call the channel, because we're reading Bhagavad-gita as it is. Commentary and translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. My name is Labanga Latika. We have entered into the 5th chapter, Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness, because of course that is the, that's the riddle. We're in the material world and we're spiritual. How do we perform spiritual life when we're completely in this world, in this body? What is the solution? What is the trick? What is the attitude we adopt? And here we have it. Action in Krishna consciousness. I'm reading text 3. Geya sanitya sanyasi yo nadveshti nakankshati nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his action, the fruit of his activities, is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated. O mighty armed Arjuna. Purport. One who is fully in Krishna consciousness is always a renouncer because he feels neither hatred nor desire for the results of his actions. Such a renouncer, dedicated to the transcendental loving service of the Lord, is fully qualified in knowledge because he knows his constitutional position in relationship with Krishna. He knows fully well that Krishna is the whole and that he is part and parcel of Krishna. Such knowledge is perfect because it is quantitatively and qualitatively correct. The concept of oneness with Krishna is incorrect because the part cannot be equal to the whole. Knowledge that one is one in quality yet different in quantity is correct transcendental knowledge, leading one to become full in himself, having nothing to aspire to or lament over. There is no duality in his mind because whatever he does for Krishna. Being thus freed from the platform of dualities, he is liberated even in this material world. So that is one description of perfection. As long as we haven't reached perfection, there is always an itch to change things. And we hear about people who have accomplished or reached levels of perfection in this world that we simple, regular people can only dream of. And yet, they may not have that feeling of satisfaction, of completion. So one who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities. So we tend to have like one or the other. So we can become very attached to what we have or to what we want and be very like desirous of things. Or sometimes when we come to this kind of starting spiritual life, starting the idea of renunciation, then we can turn the other way and thinking, oh, I'm trying to renounce these things, therefore I hate them. This also doesn't create peacefulness. We see that sometimes it happens that the young monks, I'm in the Hare Krishna movement and we have young monks and nuns, and sometimes we see the young monks becoming very averse to everything, very like, oh, I'm a monk and that's a woman, I have to like be very angry about it. And a person who is not attached does not feel like that. A person who is satisfied in their spiritual identity, in their service to Krishna, will very naturally not be very drawn to things. And if that, desire in the heart is not there, then there is also no need to create a strong dislike for anything in this world. But a person sees this world, it is Krishna's, I am Krishna's, my activities are for Krishna, and that creates an enormous level of peacefulness. And it's also all right to not be perfectly on that level, but at least on an intellectual platform we can understand these things, and then it's helpful in our spiritual life. I will read another text. 4. Sankhya yogo pritag bala pravadandina panditaha ekang apyastita sangyag ubayor vindate phalam. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service, karma yoga, as being different from the analytical study of the material world, Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the result of both. Purport. The aim of the analytical study of the material world is to find the soul of existence. The soul of the material world is Vishnu, or the supersoul. Devotional service to the Lord entails service to the supersoul. One process is to find the root of the tree, and the other is to water the root. The real student of Sankhya philosophy finds the root of the material world, Vishnu, and then, in perfect knowledge, engages himself in the service of the Lord. Therefore, in essence, there is no difference between the two, because the aim of both is Vishnu. Those who do not know the ultimate end say that the purpose of Sankhya and Karma Yoga are not the same, but one who is learned knows the unifying aim in these different processes. Yes, so we sometimes have this example. If we go to an elephant in a dark room and we can't see it, then one person contacts the trunk, and one contacts the leg, and one contacts the main body, and one grabs an ear, and they'll argue that the elephant is, a big block of something, and one will say, no, it's just a thin, soft thing that flutters, and one will be, it's kind of like a snake. And someone who has the full vision knows, no, the elephant has all these parts. So yoga, realization, you can look at it from the Sankhya perspective of analyzing this world and rejecting everything that isn't the essence, ultimately everything except the soul and except Krishna, the supreme soul. Or you can look at it from the point of view of karma yoga, connecting with our activities in the service of Krishna. And there really is no difference. It's just different aspects of the same thing. But we kind of need both. We need to have some understanding, some knowledge, but we also need a process to connect and to activate that Krishna consciousness that is dormant in the heart. I will read text 5 also. Yat sankhye prapyate sthanang yad yogairapi ganyate ekang sankhyan cha yogang cha yapashyati sapashyati. One who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, sees things as they are. Purport. The real purpose of philosophical research is to find the ultimate goal of life. Since the ultimate goal of life is self-realization, there is no difference between the conclusions reached by the two processes. By Sankhya philosophical research, one comes to the conclusion that the living entity is not a part and parcel of the material world, but of the Supreme Spirit whole. Consequently, the Spirit soul has nothing to do with the material world. His actions must be in some relation with the Supreme. When he acts in Krishna consciousness, he is actually in his constitutional position. In the first process, Sankhya, one has to become detached from matter, and in the devotional yoga process, one has to attach himself to the work of Krishna consciousness. Factually, both processes are the same, although superficially one process appears to involve detachment, and the other process appears to involve attachment. Detachment from matter and attachment to Krishna are one and the same. One who can see this sees things as they are. So we get a little help here. Krishna is explaining these things to us, and we're so very fortunate, because sometimes, like, we have this idea of a person seeking the truth and climbing up a mountain and finding a wise master who gives him mystical tasks so that he will come to this sense of, oh, that's how it works. Krishna consciousness is practical in that sense. We can take it up. We don't have to climb a mountain. We don't have to change very much in our lives. But we can accept the information, the knowledge given by Krishna, and we can put it into practice. We can easily start. It may not be so easy to completely, fully realize these sublime spiritual truths about ourselves and God, but we can very easily come to a platform of beginning, of taking up, reading the Bhagavad-gita, meditating on Krishna's name, finding some of the activities in our lives that we can dedicate to Krishna, like simple things. Krishna is a person, and he invites us to love him. So if we love somebody, we will invite them home and we will cook them a meal, and we will ask them to please enjoy the meal. So every time we cook our meal, I think by now in the 5th chapter we are all aware that a civilized meal does not contain bodily parts of dead animals. But basically Krishna is not very fussy. He appreciates our endeavor to make a nice vegetarian meal for him. And we can ask Krishna, maybe we have a picture or we have an altar, or we, even within our own mind, we can ask Krishna, I cooked this meal, will you please accept it? I heard your name is there in the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I will meditate on that mantra, I will chant it, I will hear it, and I will offer it as a prayer. My dear Lord, my dear energy of the Lord, please engage me in your service. And I will endeavor to connect with the devotees and maybe visit the temples, take part in the ceremonies. Not very big steps, but important steps, real steps. It's just like if you're starving, if you're in a desert and you're starving and you're thirsty, and somebody comes and meets you and they have brought you water. It's not a very complicated process to drink that water, but it will quench your thirst. And the problem is that you hadn't found the water. Once you find it, you can easily apply it. So once we find Krishna consciousness, we can easily start this process. And Krishna gives us knowledge that we understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. Now the only thing that is there is for us to actually do it. So we can try that. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for watching. We aim for updates every Tuesday and Friday. Please come back. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down there. We also have some links and information for you. And there is, of course, the subscribe button. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'm a Hare Krishna, and I approve this message. Subscribe.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.